Egypt. A land where the waters of the Nile have flowed through the same land for millennia. Where the wind still whispers the secrets of the Pharaohs. A place where the ancient never fades. Throughout its history, the figure of the Pharaoh has left such a profound mark that even today, their presence is felt in every corner of the country. But how do the Pharaohs survive in the everyday life of modern Egyptians? Join me on this journey and discover how the legacy of these ancient kings is still alive among us. This is a tour through Egypt, both yesterday and today. A land where the magic of the Pharaohs never disappears. Imagine a river so ancient, so vital, that it has been flowing through Egypt for over 6,000 years, connecting the past and present in a way that's unique. The Nile isn't just a river, it's the lifeblood of an entire country. From the time of the Pharaohs, when its fertile waters were seen as a gift from the gods, to today, the Nile continues to be the heart of Egyptian life. Did you know that over 95% of Egypt's population lives along its banks? Here, in this legendary river, lies the key to survival, agriculture, and trade that continue to sustain the country. But it's more than just water. The Nile is the soul of Egypt, a direct link to its glorious past, still touching the daily lives of every Egyptian. Every year, when the waters of the Nile flood, Egyptian farmers celebrate what isn't just a flood, but a miracle of nature. While ancient beliefs have given way to modern science, the importance of the Nile remains unquestionable. Its waters, which for centuries brought fertility to these arid lands, continue to nourish fields of wheat, cotton, and sugarcane. History is never forgotten. Even in today's agriculture, ancient irrigation techniques are still used, passing down knowledge from generation to generation, just as the Pharaohs did. But the Nile isn't just a source of economic life. It's also the heart of modern Egyptian culture. Pharaohs once sailed its waters, and today, tourists from all over the world cruise down the river, traveling the same waters that saw the great temples and pyramids rise along its banks. The Nile not only connects lands, it connects eras. So the Nile continues to be more than just a river. It's a thread that links time from the Pharaohs to modern Egypt. A constant presence that not only gives life, but keeps alive the memories and traditions that define Egypt. Today, just as yesterday, the Nile is the great witness to history. And as long as its waters flow, so will the essence of Egypt, the land of the Pharaohs. When we think of Egypt, the first thing that comes to mind are its pyramids, those stone giants rising toward the sky. But the true greatness of pharaonic architecture goes much beyond what we see at Giza. Every temple, every obelisk, every palace standing across the vast land of Egypt tells a story. And that story speaks not only of power, but of a near mystical relationship between the pharaohs, the gods, and eternity. The temples of Karnak and Luxor, for example, weren't just places of worship. They were the stages where pharaohs showcased their divinity, where stone, sun, and space came together to create a transcendent experience. The way the columns rise, the arrangement of the reliefs, every detail was carefully designed to project the power of the pharaoh and the protection of the gods. If we look closely, the influence of Egyptian architecture hasn't disappeared. In modern Cairo, Skyscrapers and monuments still carry the essence of pharaonic architecture. Perfect symmetry, open spaces, geometric patterns. The connection to the past is even present in the design of some contemporary buildings, like the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, where the spirit of the ancient temple seems to resonate in every corner. What's fascinating is how this architecture has transcended time. Though modern technology has changed the way we build, the principles of pharaonic architecture live on. Facades with reliefs, columns that seem to touch the sky, and that sense of eternity that you breathe in every stone laid with divine purpose. Today, architecture in Egypt still reflects its history. Egyptian architects don't just build structures, they perpetuate pharaonic grandeur in every project. It's a legacy that won't be forgotten. Every new construction in this country maintains a deep connection with its past, as if the pharaohs, though distant in time, could still see their work, eternal in the horizon. Egyptian hieroglyphs, more than just symbols, they are the words of a lost world, a language carved in stone that gave voice to the gods and the eternal fate of the pharaohs. But how does a writing system created over 5,000 years ago still captivate humanity? Imagine the ancient scribes, priests of the word, carefully engraving these sacred symbols on the walls of temples and tombs. Each hieroglyph wasn't just a letter or a sound, but a symbol full of power and mystery. The Eye of Horus, the Ankh Cross, the sacred scarab. Each one had a meaning beyond what could be read. It was a language that connected humans with the spiritual world, used to secure eternal life in the afterlife. But what's most intriguing is how this language, despite disappearing for centuries, was brought back to life by a discovery that changed history. The Rosetta Stone. With this stone, archaeologists were able to decipher the hieroglyphs, uncovering the secrets of the ancient Egyptians, from poetry to laws and stories of their gods and rulers. Today, when you visit Egypt, those hieroglyphs are still there, telling stories without words, engraved on the columns of Karnak, on the walls of the Temple of Hatshepsut, or in the tombs of the Valley of the Kings. They're witnesses to a world where writing was as much an art as a connection to the divine. And did you know that even today, some Egyptian artists draw inspiration from these ancient symbols for their modern creations? From jewelry to graphic design, it's as if hieroglyphs never stopped being part of Egypt. Hieroglyphs, therefore, are not just remnants of a distant past. They're proof of a civilization that knew its words could endure for eternity, carved in stone to defy time. When we think of the pharaohs, we imagine temples, pyramids, and an ancient world. But did you know that the influence of those ancient god kings is still alive today, in ways you wouldn't believe? From religious altars to fashion runways and political speeches, the symbolism of the pharaohs has transformed, adapting to modern Egypt. First, let's talk about religion. While Egypt is predominantly a Muslim country today, the spiritual roots of ancient Egypt can still be felt. Modern religious practices, like respect for the sacred waters of the Nile, echo the ancient ceremonies of thanksgiving to the river, considered a source of life. In addition, some local rituals still observe gestures and symbols that evoke the divine connection of thousands of years ago. And then there's fashion. It's no coincidence that in the streets of Cairo or Alexandria, you'll find young people with ankh tattoos, the symbol of eternal life. Even international fashion shows sometimes pay homage to ancient Egypt, with patterns and accessories inspired by the jewelry and colors worn by the pharaohs. In Egypt, fashion not only reflects global trends, but also honors a legacy of power, protection, and mysticism. Finally, politics. Pharaonic power wasn't just religious or symbolic. It was also deeply political. Today, though Egypt is a republic, certain speeches and public monuments still remind us of the role ancient rulers played. The pharaohs were seen as intermediaries between the gods and the people, and that idea of a nearly mythical leadership has left its mark on how some politicians seek to project authority and respect. Thus, Egypt remains a country where the past blends with the present, where the symbolism of the pharaohs is not a distant memory, but a living energy that reflects in beliefs, fashion, and spheres of power. Could you have imagined that the presence of the pharaohs feels so close, even today? Have you ever wondered if the flavors of ancient Egyptian cuisine are still around today? The answer is a definite yes. Modern Egyptian cuisine is deeply rooted in pharaonic influences, and each dish tells a story of thousands of years of tradition. Imagine for a moment being at a pharaoh's feast. Pharaohs loved natural ingredients like honey, dates, figs, and a wide variety of spices. Today, many of these ingredients are still central to the Egyptian diet. A classic example is bread. In the time of the pharaohs, bread was baked daily, and that tradition continues with aish baladi, a whole wheat bread that Egyptians still consider sacred. The word aish even means life, reflecting how essential bread is to their culture. Another legacy is the use of legumes like fava beans. The most typical breakfast dish in Egypt, foul mesdames, dates back to ancient times when fava beans were cooked in large clay pots and served with olive oil, garlic, and lemon. The idea of preparing food slowly and carefully comes from a time when every meal was almost a ritual. And what about desserts? The ancient Egyptians had an insatiable love for sweets. They used honey instead of sugar, and that's still a key ingredient in Egyptian pastries today. Desserts like basbousa and kunafa are filled with that honey sweetness that our pharaonic ancestors would have enjoyed. The cuisine is also marked by the influence of spice markets, a tradition that takes us back to when Egypt was an important trading hub. Spices like cumin, coriander, and anise weren't just used for flavor. They were also valued for their medicinal and spiritual properties, something still respected today. So the next time you try an Egyptian dish, remember, you're not just enjoying a delicious meal. You're taking part in a culinary journey that spans thousands of years. From the pharaohs' recipes to modern-day tables in Egypt, the cuisine is a living legacy that continues to connect people to the eternal spirit of this land. Egypt isn't just a land of history and monuments. It's a country full of life. where entertainment and fun have kept their vibrant essence alive throughout the centuries. Here, every celebration and activity has a special touch, something that the pharaohs themselves would have recognized as a tribute to the joy of living. Today, celebrations in Egypt are a unique spectacle, where music and dance blend with cultural traditions. From the bustling streets of Cairo to the quiet villages along the Nile, festivals and events bring communities together, reminding us that shared joy is essential. Lights, drums, and traditional songs fill the air, creating a magical atmosphere. Sports, meanwhile, play a fundamental role in modern life. Soccer is almost a religion in Egypt, with a passion that unites people of all ages. Wins and losses by the national team are cause for celebration or shared consolation, and the stadiums become temples of emotion and unity. And let's not forget the activities on the Nile. Felucca rides, those traditional boats that sail gently along the river, are the perfect way to experience the beauty of Egypt. Feeling the breeze and watching the sunset over the river is still a classic and essential pastime for both locals and visitors. In Egypt, leisure is a reflection of its vibrant culture, a sensory experience where the past and present meet in every celebration, every sporting event, and every ride along the world's most famous river. Egypt is a place where the essence of the pharaohs lives on, leaving its mark on everything. From the majestic Nile to the festivals, fashion, and cuisine that reflect a unique and captivating culture. It's a country where history and the present fuse in a way that only Egypt can offer. If this journey fascinated you, let us know in the comments which part surprised you the most. And if you want to keep exploring the wonders of the world and enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to Planet Discovery. More exciting adventures and mysterious destinations await you here. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on our next journey.